Our guest on today's show is local resident Tom Getty. Tom owns Acrolite Pictures, and obviously he wants to be a director, an actor. He wants to do it all, and here's a local product, a positive person in our community that is going to do great things with his life, and that's where he's at. He's kind of in the infancy of it all, and his latest film is called Rising Fear, and we've been talking about it. And Tom, that kind of takes me to my next question. What is the status of Rising Fear? Is it completed now? Where's it at? What's going on with it?
Right now, in fact, when I go home today, I'm going to finish up watching the footage that we shot, and I think there's about 30 hours of footage. So when I'm done with that, I'm going to start the editorial process, and what that entails is me sitting at the computer and cutting the picture together and the sound and everything. And then I got to work on the special effects. This is going to be a very special effects heavy movie. There's a scene in the film where my father and I, my father, the president, and I'm trying to protect him, we're being chased by an Apache helicopter through downtown Pittsburgh that is trying to blow us off the road. So,
Well, that sounds like fun.
Right. And so that's going to be a lot of special effects, and we're going to be doing that. I feel that it will be completed by late this year or early next year. Now, when it's going to be showing, it's too early to tell. And what I'm going to be doing with it, again, it's too early to tell.
So the editing requires you to take the footage, what you want in the movie.
Yes.
That's number one.
Yes.
Number two, any special effects like the Apache helicopter.
Yes.
I assume you're going to have some music.
Of course. Yes.
Any ideas?
Well, of course, I would love to play the music, but I'm still, to use your word, in the infancy of learning how to play the piano. So I don't think that'll be totally this movie. What I'm using is a lot of stock music, a lot of not stock music. I don't want to say that. I'm taking a unique blend of sounds and musics, and I always, scramble it together, and I always make a really good score.
I just had a thought come to me. You have this movie. What if you wanted to use a song in the movie, let's say a song by Pink? I'm just throwing. Let's say you want to. Would you have to contact her and tell her you want to use her music in your movie?
I'm almost certain that they would say no. That has always been a problem. What you're hitting on is copyright. And if you use a song, say, by the Rolling Stones, no good. It's always been, because of course with a score you would like to use something by Hans Zimmer. You'd like to use the Dark Knight score. So you can't do that. What you got to do is get music that's cleared, so-called cleared, that would be, i.e., legal to use, that you could sell the movie or exhibit it. That's a whole issue that has always concerned me, but it's one that you can get around. But that would be, if let's say you called Pink. I don't know who that is.
That's okay. That's legitimate. Okay. Don't worry about it.
I think I'm getting the picture of the girl with the buzzed haircut.
You're right on.
Okay, all right. So you call her and you say, hey, I want to use your hit single. Well, even if you could get in touch with her or her agent, most likely you get in touch with the business manager. And they'd say, well, how much money do you have? And I'd say, well, nothing. They'd say, click. You hear a click on the other line. And that's not to that's an assumption I'm making. Maybe they're very good-hearted people, and they'd say, sure, use it for free. Maybe.
That's probably not going to happen.
Right. So I don't know.
So you're at this editing part.
Yes.
And you said that you thought you'll get it done by when?
I project early or sometime late this year. Of course, anytime I say that, I'm forgetting that it's July now, and I'm forgetting that we're almost midway through the summer, and it's still in my head. It's still like April. So,
well, that's okay, but it's not April.
I know. So I have to. So my time frame late this year might be a little too early.
You have a press release for your movie, The Dark Knight Rises.
No, no. I wish that were my movie. It's Rising
Oh
Fear.
no, okay. Yeah, I'm getting my movies all mixed up.
I know.
Rising Fear, okay, and it's in the vein
Yes.
of Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
And that press release was already sent out in June.
Yes.
I think June 16th was the date that I saw that
Yes.
it went out. Where would people find that press release? Like, how do you release that so people can learn about this movie or read about it?
Well, what we're doing is we have a Facebook page. If you go to Facebook and type in Rising Fear, or if you just if you want to type in the URL, you type in facebook.com/Rising Fear Movie. That'll take you to our page. Make sure you like it. There's there's a copious amount of information on there, and not to mention updates. I update it almost every day, what I'm doing editorially, or, appearances, or where there might be more information. And then I'm trying to set up a website. And of course, we were talking about one thing I want to emphasize is what I'm doing now is almost a graduate school. In fact, it is a graduate school, except it's a graduate school I get to do here in Johnstown.
And one that you set up. It's
Yes,
your own school.
It's my own school. And there had been a lot of discussion in my family, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to graduate school after college? And when I was done with college, I thought, I don't want to do school anymore. The happiest time of my life was when I came home. Like I said, I'm a very self-directed person. I read constantly, and I have my own study methods. And I wake up about 6:30 in the morning, and I will work tirelessly until 11 at night, just reading, studying, and, working on this stuff. So one of the benefits of running your own graduate school for just yourself is you don't really have to worry when a project doesn't take off right away. Case in point, the website. The website is the idea of making a website is totally new to me, and therefore you're learning a lot, and you're finding, wow, there's a lot to just making a website. Just making a website, but making a good website is a whole other thing. So I'm learning about that. I'm learning more about Facebook, and Facebook is so much more than just going on and posting a picture of your dog or cat. You can set up a fan page, and that entails learning a lot about how do you create a page that is getting a lot of likes. That's been a learning experience. The idea of getting the movie out there has been a learning experience for me. So that's the one great thing about starting your own graduate school is you actually learn a lot. And when all of this is over, I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to be hugely in debt, and I won't have that pressure of right out of the gate, I gotta be huge, to pay back that debt. So it's nice. It fits me personally.
Well, Rising Fear, when you've got it edited and it's in the form you want it to be, what do you do with it? I mean, how do you get it out there?
There's two things that I'm planning on doing. One being I'm going to tour it at the film festivals around the country. And I'm going to send it to producers and agents and see if I can drum up interest in that way. Or if we're going to get that standard letter back saying we can't open it. Although I feel like this time it will be different. I don't know why, but I do, because I really believe the industry is in a huge change right now. Steven Spielberg, in an interview, said the whole system, Hollywood, is imploding. And what he means by that is that sooner or later, these Superman movies and these superhero movies that are coming out are going to bomb. And what I mean by bomb is they're going to release another Superman movie, and it's going to bankrupt the studio. And it's happened before. Back in the early 80s, a number of films would come out, and they were bombing. And so Hollywood has to reassess, and they have to find some new way of doing it. And I think what they're going to be doing is they're going to be looking to people that can make films cheaply. And I think a lot of my experience in making these kind of movies around town and, pulling the resources together myself that's going to be very appealing, and being able to pull in the special effects and the music and all that stuff for cheap, I think that's going to be, they're going to be on the lookout for that. So that's one area. The other area, and this ties into the first area, which is they're having a hard time, even Hollywood is having a hard time, how do we get our movies out there? The grosses are down. So, because we don't have video stores anymore. You can't go to a Blockbuster, or as I knew it, Mr. Willie's. Mr. Willie's just down the street. That's where I would always go as a teenager.
I remember. Yes.
Yeah, and it was always Mr. Willie's.
You go to the machine now, and you buy it out of the machine, or you've got it at home and you buy it at home.
Right, and that of course is spooky to somebody like me. However, it's not. Amazon, you can download movies on Amazon, and you can download movies on iTunes. The great thing about that is you can cut out a lot of middlemen, theoretically. You can go to an Amazon.com, and you have to jump through the usual hoops, but they'll put their movie for sale on Amazon, and so the real obstacle becomes you getting the movie out there. And so that's one area. And that's going to be a whole learning process for me, just doing that. So,
and it goes along with the theme that you want to learn it all.
Yes, exactly. I want to learn it from the ground up.
You are listening to Johnstown Live with Ralph DeMarco on 1490 WNTJ News Talk in Johnstown. Our guest on this morning's show is Tom Getty. Tom Getty is a local filmmaker. He owns Acrolite Pictures, and his latest film is called Rising Fear. Tom, you're getting to the point where the film is going to be edited by the end of the year. I get the feeling that you've already started thinking beyond that. So
yes.
Take us to, where do you see your future in this whole filmmaking industry?
Well, I'll tell you, I go on a lot of walks. If you know me, or in fact, if you live around here in Johnstown, you've probably seen me, let's say the Westmont area, you've probably seen me go on walks. I love walks because they help me think. And when I go on these walks, I'm always thinking about the future. Of course, I'm always thinking about the past and the future. One of the things I think about with the future is, what's the next movie? What do we want to do? And I have a number of scripts set around, and the question to me is, what kind of movie do I want to do? Do I want to do a horror movie? Do I want to do another action movie? Do I want to do a movie like American Graffiti? Kind of a coming-of-age story. And so that's what I think. So I don't know yet. But I mean, that would be a whole other show. I could tell you, if we could take this show on one of my walks, I could tell you, I could give you my whole thought process on that.
Maybe one day we'll do
that. Yes. So, and I guarantee you that would be a very entertaining show.
Tom, if someone wants to find out about you,
yes,
where could they go? How could they? Can they call you on the phone? Do you have a Facebook page? Give you an email? How would they find out about you?
For now, I'm working on a website, but for now, I would say, look me up. And I know this sounds kind of, fly by night, but I'd say look me up on Facebook and just friend me. I always accept friend requests because I love meeting new people. And so look me up there on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. If you type in Tom Getty 88, that's the official name, but if you type in Tom Getty, my videos will come up on YouTube. If you type my name on Google, it'll come up on Google. And yeah, those three things. So I don't have an official website because, like we said, websites are very difficult to set up. And if anybody out there would like to set up a website, that would be great. But
I'm sure they're going to be jumping right on that wagon.
Hopefully.
Tom, it has been a real pleasure having you here on Johnstown Live. And I would tell you this, and I guess this is the old guy talking to the young guy. I think of young kids, and they want to be professional something. I want to be the best doctor. I want to be the best lawyer.
Yes.
I want to be a professional football player. I want to be a professional baseball player. I want to be a professional basketball player, hockey player. I want to own my own company. I want to be an admiral. I want to be a general. And people have grown up in Johnstown who have done all those things. And Tom, I believe that when you grow up, because you're headed there,
Yeah.
you're not there yet.
Yeah.
When you grow up, you're going to be a great film producer, writer, actor, you name it. I believe that you're going to find your way and be one of the best. And right here from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And you're a positive person in our community. And I tell you, I feel your excitement and your passion. And I wish you nothing but the best. And believe you can be the best.
Thank you. That makes my day to hear that. And yes, that makes my week to hear that. So thank you.
Well, Tom, thanks for being on Johnstown Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are listening to Johnstown Live with Ralph DeMarco on 1490 WNTJ News Talk, Johnstown.